Unstoppable Squad. Today we have another Monday Night Raw results. I'm Unstoppable Denominator, bringing you guys another Monday Night Raw results under red lights for Monday Night Raw. We are covering Monday Night Raw on June 5th in Hartford, Connecticut. After winning the new World Heavyweight title at Night of Champions, Seth Rollins faced his first challenger this week when he stepped into the ring with Damian Priest. We also saw a couple of qualifying contests for this year's Money in the Bank matches. Natalya battled Zoe Stark and Becky Lynch took on Sonya Deville. Let's take a look at everything that happened on Monday's episode of WWE Raw. Opening segment, we have Rollins came out to open the show and stood in the ring for several seconds. After his music stopped playing while the crowd continued to sing along, he spoke about how it has been almost 2 years since a world title has been defended on Raw. So he put out an open challenge that was answered by Priest. The Visionary actually put over the Judgment Day a bit before the Anarchy of Infirmary and Finn Balor showed up. The Irishman mocked Rollins a bit, but Priest complimented him. Why does it says something else, but and called him a deserving champion who has done well for himself before adding he will leave the title Monday Night Raw. Surprisingly, the end without an physical contact, but some seeds were planted for a potential Judgment Day breakup at some point. This was all pretty standard stuff. They did a decent job hyping the main event, but the segment didn't do much unless we get a payoff to the tension between Balor and Priest. Grade C+. The look on Balor's face when Priest said he didn't need him was great. Well, I mean, Finn Balor can win a belt by himself too. So, but yeah, the Priest looked at his shoulder when Rollins said he doesn't do well in fights with him. That was a nice callback. And then, this was left out that Damian Priest said that your reign will be short, but Rollins says, oh yeah, like Finn Balor's. They left that out. Becky Lynch versus Sonya Deville. The first match of the night was Money in the Bank qualifier between Lynch and Deville. Chelsea Green was by Sonya's side. The Jersey Devil almost knocked Green off the apron at the start of the match when Lynch avoided her, but they averted any major incident. Deville began taking it to the man after Green provided another distraction as Lynch was starting to make a comeback. Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark made an appearance. When Green's distraction became too much to handle, the man threw her into the barricade several times. She did the same thing to Deville when she tried to help. When Deville uses more MMA offense, both women have a similar style in the ring. They like to use a wide variety of maneuvers, so they were able to put together a fun match with a story that was easy to follow. Lynch picked up the win to qualify for the Women's Money in the Bank match. This could have been a throwaway bout, but it ended up being pretty decent your winner, Becky Lynch. Grade C+. I'll admit, when I was watching the highlights on TikTok with a guy who does reactions on there, he goes something about his balls, nutsack, and all that, and he said if there's no way that Becky Lynch will lose, right? And it looked like Becky Lynch was going to lose, but Becky Lynch had won. So he would have ate his, if Becky Lynch didn't win, ate his, what he said about it earlier. But yeah, our cargo pants back in style. Green was wearing a pair. DeVille, who cares? DeVille is one of the few former MMA stars who throws punches like a wrestler, not a material artist. It makes her easier to watch sometimes, okay? The way DeVille jumped right into the manhandled slam looked way too obvious. Next we have Gunther versus Kevin Owens. Now, I watched the highlights for this. The highlights for this was fantastic. Oh my god, this should have been a premium live event, guys. This should have been a pay-per-view. To be honest with you. And not just that, the title could have been on the line. This was one hell of a match. I watched the whole preview of it. Man, I was on my edge of my seat when I saw the previews of it. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were talking to Byron Saxton backstage when Imperium showed up. A quick argument led... What the... Now I forgot where I was because of this. Led to KO challenging Gunther to a match before marching to the ring. Yep. I think he said something else. I don't remember. But they locked up and fought for control until the referee forced a break in the corner. They actually tried to wrestle each other for the first few minutes instead of just hitting each other as hard as possible. That came a little later. Gunther seemed to have Owens' number throughout most of the match. The prize fighter would make small comebacks here and there, but the ring general kept putting him back on the mat. If you're familiar with these two, then you already know how physical this was. KO can bump with the best of them, and Gunther is great at throwing people around. So this was about made in wrestling heaven. The way they continued to put up the physicality as the contest progressed was outstanding. Everything they did served a purpose and was executed with precision. Cashier ended up taking a stunner from Kevin Owens before Gunther rolled him up for the win. They left the open for future encounters. But this was an awesome first chapter. Gunther is your winner. Grade A. Owens is so funny when he gets angry. Yes, I agree. I definitely agree with that. The way Gunther hits a German suplex looks so good. He releases his opponent at just the right time so they fly a little further. Cashier should be a villain in James Bond's movie. Okay, who cares? His voice would allow him to give such a great monologue about his evil plan. The way Cashier caught Gunther's jacket during his entrance was slick. Okay, who cares? You should be talking about the match, not about that or him catching it or whatever. After a confrontation backstage, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler ended up in the match against the newly called up Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Baszler had a little fun with Carter when the match started by tripping her in the corner, but Carter paid her back a moment later with the same move. When Ronda Rousey tagged in, the crowd booed loudly, which only made her smile wider. She had some success against both opponents before the High Flyers took them down at ringside with a pair of dives. Both teams were able to get in plenty of offense because this match had more time than expected. Management clearly wants to give Carter and Chance a fair shot, and allowing them to look good against the team as dominant as champions is a great start. After regaining the upper hand, Baszler made Carter tap out to score the win. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey is your winners. God dang it, sorry. It's a little past. Well, it's been grade B minus. Carter and Chance's entrance video might give someone seizures. Okay. The video package WWE made for the NXT call-ups was well done. Carter and Chance have some great tag team combos. They are one of the few duos in the women's division that have made an effort to develop as arsenal of double team moves. If WWE ever does a mixed match challenge again, we need Butch and Baszler to be a team. They would be perfect together, okay? Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Last week, Ricochet and Shinsuke Nakamura each qualified for the men's Money in the Bank against other opponents. This week, though, they squared off in a singles match. They started with a nice exchange of takedowns and encounters that showed some of their technical ability. We returned from commercial break to see Ricochet begin to build some momentum. He hits a series of punches and kicks, but the rock star avoided him in the corner and hit his Pentenda running knee to the body, followed by a sliding German suplex. The one and only blocked the Kinshasa and hit a codebreaker before climbing to the top. Bronson Reed attached both men to cause a no contest finish. This was a great match until the finish, but the way it ended actually protects both men heading into July 1st pay-per-view premium live event. So it's not a big deal. Everything else what we saw was good. So it was easy to forgive a DQ when it makes sense. No contest winner. B minus. There was a backstage segment involving Ricochet and Nakamura and Reed that almost felt as if they were reading their lines off a cue card. Well, like me reading off a screen. It felt like we were barely had 2 minutes between commercial breaks. So, who cares? I'd rather not even have commercial breaks, to be honest with you. Get rid of commercial breaks. Especially when it would be great if you're gonna go on to the next match, not have a match being on TV and then go cut to a commercial break, or just do play-by-play. Like, commercial break, Ricochet makes the springboard look the easiest thing in the world. That's why he is so great. Alright, here we go. This is one I want to talk about, how bad the fans will not let Dominic speak at all. Miz TV. And there's also, I'm going to mention, when I get to this point of this part of Miz TV, of what I saw on TikTok. 2 months ago, The Miz and Cody Rhodes were fighting each other. Now, The Miz was rocking out to Rhodes' entrance music as he welcomed him back to Miz TV. They started off friendly enough, but the A-lister called him stupid for being willing to fight with a broken arm. The American Nightmare made a joke about tiny balls to get him back. The Miz then brought out a surprise guest, Dominic Mysterio. As usual, Rhea Ripley was there by his side. Dom got usual levels of heat from the crowd when he tried to speak. After they traded some insults, Dominic Mysterio slapped Rose and then ran away, hiding behind Rhea Ripley. Mommy. The American Nightmare knocked The Miz out with his cast to end the segment. Now, what I saw on TikTok, on WWE TikTok, that one of the fans wrote in the comments saying, "I'm so tired of this little idiot here." You know, the thing is, why? Why should you be tired of him? Dominic is the most awesome heel that we got in WWE. Look at AEW. They got the greatest heel on earth, MJF. Now WWE needs someone to... Well, WWE has 2 heels. They got Roman Reigns and now Dominic Mysterio. So, and not just that, Dominic was backstage on TikTok. It was posted on TikTok, and Cody Rhodes was making his own theme song for Cody Rhodes. Oh, I slapped Cody Rhodes. Rhodes sarcastically asking the crowd not to boo Dominic was hilarious. Yes, it was. The Miz was trying to compete with Rollins for the loudest suit of the night. Next, we have Zoe Stark versus Natalya. I hate, to be honest with you, Natalya, you need to retire. There's nothing left for you to do. You keep on losing. On TikTok, I guess, someone says that Natalya's the most drama queen backstage from the WWE roster. Was the Divas. I think it was Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. The second women's Money in the Bank qualifying match saw Natalya take on one of the Raw's newest comers, Zoe Stark. Stratus was there to support her protege. Natalya showed off her veteran experience by out-wrestling Stark in the early moments of the match. She used mat-based offense and counters to keep the upper hand until she was nailed with a super kick. Natty locked her rival in a sharpshooter, but Stark made it to the bottom rope to force a break. With a little help from Stratus, Stark hits the Z360 for the win. Watery eyes. I'm not crying, it's just watery eyes. This match was short and didn't have much to it. If WWE wanted to push Stark, this should have been a more decisive win without any shenanigans. Yeah, but this is leading into Money in the Bank there, buddy. Grade C. The neon green in Natalya's gear clashed with everyone else's. Especially because it was only in a few spots. Okay? Paul Heyman plugged a segment for SmackDown after the match was over. Which, yes, he said that something that Jay needs to choose a side and be on the side of the bloodline or else. That's all I can remember. So, Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest. And this year were scheduled for a match against Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, but Veer and Shinga attacked their opponents before it could take place. The main event was the title bout between Rollins and Priest, which they hyped during the opening segment. As per the agreement, the Archer of Infirmary was alone. Priest backed Rollins to the corner and talked some trash to get things going, but the Visionary wasn't scared. He backed his rival to the opposite corner and hit a flurry of chops. WWE gave them the last 25 minutes of the show, so they had plenty of time to pace themselves without needing to rush from spot to spot. They were able to sell everything properly, which made everything feel a little more impactful. It was going to be hard for any match to reach the level of Gunther versus Owens, which is true. But Rollins and Priest did a great job making their bout feel different while still being exciting. The Judgment Day member even pulled out a hurricanrana from the top rope, which is not a move he usually uses often. Rollins was able to take out Balor before he could execute a sneak attack. Priest seemed upset about it to see his teammate before he set up for his finisher. The Visionary countered and hit the stomp for the win. Your winner, Seth Rollins, grade A-. Shingo yelling at Alexander to shut up while he was posing was pretty funny. Okay, it's hard to tell, but WWE might be piping in some crowd noises during Rollins' entrance. No shit, they do that all the time. They put in crowd noises in all the time because not much of the fans are reacting when WWE wants them to be reacting. It's because reason why they're not reacting because the freaking matches are boring. But the one that was excellent was Owens and Gunther. They need to have more matches like that. I'm sorry, WWE need to step up your game to have more matches like Gunther and Owens. That's what you need to have. Wrestling needs to be entertaining, not being boring. It's hard to tell, but WWE, okay, which I said, it sounds different when his music is playing that it does after the song stops. The guillotine leg drop from the Visionary on the apron looked great. Priest was really laying in his strikes. You could hear the impact of every hit clearly. The way Rollins was able to power Priest up in a Falcon Arrow with almost no leverage was an impressive display of power. This week's Raw definitely had its shares of highs and lows, but it felt like the highs far outweighed the lows this time. Gunther versus Owens, the women's tag title bout, and Rollins versus Priest were all the matches that would be at home on any pay-per-view. Sorry, god dang it, I can't read with blurry eyes and watery eyes. The non-wrestling stuff varied from segment to segment, but it didn't feel like WWE wasted much time this week. Just about everything we saw served a purpose. Starting a feud with Rhodes and Dominic is going to upset some fans, but with Dominic getting nuclear heat right now, pairing him with one of the most popular baby faces for a short program makes sense. As a whole, this was one of the stronger episodes of Raw we have seen recently. Grade A minus. Yes, I liked the show. The best match of all time was, I think, should be match of the year. Goes to Gunther versus Owens. Yes, I agree. It's not here on the screen, but that's what I exactly said. That's how I feel about my thoughts on Monday Night Raw. I added in a few things that I noticed that wasn't in here. So yes, thank you guys for watching. I will be back for NXT tomorrow morning. Yes, I said I was going to do AEW Rampage. But I went to a wrestling event that I got to go to that was here in town. So I got to go see it. One hell of a show. I loved it. And also, there was a wrestler that looked like Aiden English. I called him Aiden English. And then Immortal Spades got insulted because I'll probably throw that in here. You suck, Aiden English! You suck! You look like him!
Hey, goodbye, Aiden English.
Bye, Aiden!
You're wearing purple with khakis.
I look good.
No, you don't.
You suck, Aiden! But yeah, that was one hell of a show. Also, there was a guy that his pants were lowing, or is like showing, his ass crack was showing, and I yelled at him, said, "Hey, your ass crack is showing. Pull up your pants." And he goes, "My ass crack is showing?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then he goes, "Well, get this ring out for you right now." I don't have that on camera because I stopped after the main event was over. So yeah. But yeah, it was one hell of a show, guys. I loved it. I'm hoping to go see another event probably sometime. Maybe I should go. Maybe with one of my friends or somebody, instead of Mortal Spades and Little Baddie. Yes, Little Baddie was there, but yeah. Anyways, Unstoppable Squad, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, because all 4 things are free, 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 and free to become part of the Unstoppable Squad. And guys, I'll see you guys on NXT results. I'm Unstoppable, and I'm out.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Skiz here, and if you don't subscribe to Blonde and the Unstoppable Denominator, then you are a toothy bumfuck, pussy ass bitch motherfucker.